Okay, great. All right, good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Janet Ng, Hearing Officer for San Francisco Public Works. Clinton Otwell is the clerk of this hearing. This hearing is being recorded via Zoom and will be available afterward through a link on the San Francisco Public Works website, sfpublicworks.org. As this is a virtual hearing, there is no sign-in sheet, so if you would like to receive information about the results of this hearing, please send an email to the email address listed on the hearing notice. This public hearing is being held to consider appeals for administration citations issued. We have citation number 21461491 at 1954 24th Avenue, 21460751 at 208 Fairmont Street, and 21459325 at 2400 Irving Street, and 21463038 at 1270 California Street. My job as the hearing officer is to gather the facts for this hearing, listen to your testimony, and help our Director of Public Works make determinations. I will forward the findings from this hearing and make my recommendations to the Director. The Director will make the final determinations. When the Director's determinations are made, the department will notify you of them. So if you have provided your contact information. The hearing will proceed as follows for the 4 cases. I will ask Public Works staff to speak first and present the case. Then I will allow the appellant to speak. Then any member of the public or witness who wants to speak. Then the department, if the department would like to address any comments. And to the appellant again, if anyone has any rebuttals. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak. The clerk will monitor the time for all speakers and will indicate when the speaker has 30 seconds left. If you are a party to this proceeding, I will call on you to speak. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. If you are a member of the public or witness who wants to speak, wait for me to call for public comments, then use Zoom's raise your hand feature in the computer and to put yourself in the queue to speak. If you are dialing in on your phone, dial *9 to indicate you're raising your hand. When it is your turn to speak, I will recognize you. If on your phone and you're muted, press *6 to unmute yourself. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. Comments and questions should be addressed to me and not to the department. If you cannot finish your comments within the allotted time, you may submit written testimony to me by the end of this hearing. If I feel that questions are warranted, I will ask them. After all comments are completed, I will close the item. So let's begin with the first item, citation number 21461491 for 1954 24th Avenue. May I have Public Works?
Good morning. My name is Ian Schneider from Department of Public Works. I'll be presenting for this citation, and I'm happy to share some images as well as part of my testimony when I'm finished. On Wednesday, August 18th, 2021, at approximately 3:20 p.m., in response to a service request concerning residential toters left out at 1954 24th Avenue, I traveled to the location and found refuse receptacles out in plain view from the public right-of-way in front of the residence at 1954 24th Avenue. I then confirmed with Recology that refuse service for 1954 24th Ave is in the name of Nicholas Ellis, with a 16-gallon trash, 64-gallon recycle, and 32-gallon compost bin, all serviced on Fridays. Therefore, the receptacles should only be set out for collection after 6 p.m. Thursday and must be brought in and stored out of view by 6 p.m. Friday. Previously, on July 27th, 2021, a warning letter was sent to Nicholas Ellis concerning proper receptacle put out in storage after responding to a service request at that time and finding the receptacles out in plain view on a non-collection day. Prior to this year, warning letters regarding proper receptacle put out in storage were issued to the property owner, Lee Family Revocable Trust, after violations were found on September 29th, 2014, July 25th, 2015, June 25th, 2018, and December 1st, 2018. Given the problematic history with improper receptacle storage at this property, and because the receptacles are once again out in plain view from the public right-of-way on a non-collection day, I issued a citation to the account holder of record, Nicholas Ellis, as well as the property owner, Lee Family Revocable Trust, for violating Public Works Code 170A. And I can share my screen here. So you can see these are the pictures I took on Wednesday, August 18th at 3:20 p.m. The receptacles are out in plain view on the public right of way on that date. And prior to that, here are copies of the previous notices. So here's the warning letter from July 27th, 2021. The garbage bins are placed out in the same manner. And then in prior years, this is 2018, there was a previous tenant who kept them out in a similar way. We worked with the tenant at that time, Carlos, as well as the property owner. And it seems like the issue has cropped up again.
Okay. Thank you, Ian. Do we have the appellant on the call?
If the appellant is present, please use the raise your hand feature, or if you are the call in starting with an area code 858, you can go ahead and unmute your phone to speak.
Let's
Hello.
press start. Hello.
Good morning, everyone. This is Nicholas speaking.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And do they need to be sworn in now, Janet?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So I got my 3 minutes.
Yes, except just to do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your ability regarding this matter?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. Your 3 minutes has now started.
All right. So I have been the head tenant and on the the Public Works account for the past 3 years. And as far as these warnings, I never personally received them to this address. Maybe my landlord probably had got them, but I had never received them. And I'm calling. I know this is a citation. I was just hoping to excuse this as a warning. I wasn't aware that you guys have already given me warnings, or as far as this house warnings, because I never received any warnings sent to this address, and my landlord had never given me any heads up as far as that, I was in any citation. And prior to this, I know the last tenants, I never received any information regarding those warnings about those trash cans. And I was just hoping that this would be, crossed off as another warning, but knowing this information that I did not know, I know it's going to be pretty difficult to fight this because of that case. And yeah, I know I set this meeting up because I just wanted to kind of, get you guys my case, because I was not aware of these warnings at all. And yes, that's my 3 minutes as far as that goes.
I guess just the question of, it seems like you haven't received these notices. I guess this is more for Public Works. Where were the notices mailed to? Was it this address or somewhere else?
Sure.
Well, I see that there's an address with this first notice that I'm looking at, is that there's a location on there that says 1954 Avenue, but then there's an address, it's a Rancho Santa Fe address, and that is my address from over a decade ago. So that's why I'm confused as far as those warnings, because this says first notice on the notice that I'm holding right now that's dated August 8th, 19th, or August 19th, 2021. So that's why I'm just kind of, kind of blindsided by the fact that I never personally received any warnings as far as this location on this address.
So
and
we
so that's
use
why,
the
I want.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Nicholas. Continue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And we hold responsible for the storage of the garbage bins, a person who pays the bill with Recology, like you mentioned. So we receive the information on how to contact that person from Recology's account holder records. So that's what the
Okay.
information we receive. So many, it's not uncommon for people to use a PO box or to have a different, mailing address than the dwelling. And of course, with that, I don't know whether or not you reside there. We only know the account holder information that Recology has. Of course, the other point in this, I just want to make clear, is Public Works Code 170A does not require a warning prior to issuing a citation. We do issue warnings as a courtesy because we understand this is kind of a bit of an unusual city code. And so we do issue warnings, but because of the volume of service requests at this location concerning the bins, we move forward with citation after sending the initial warning.
Okay. So with those initial warnings, I'm assuming they were sent to the Rancho Santa Fe address.
The warning from late July was sent in PO Box 9478 to Rancho Santa Fe.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, I wasn't aware of those warnings.
Is that the address that's associated with the Recology account?
I think so. Well, it must be, because it's very strange, because even my billing address is not. Yeah. So it must be if you guys have it on this. So I will have to change that, because that's not my billing address or my mailing address. So I understand. I appreciate your guys' time. So as far as this citation goes, there's going to be no more warnings, courtesy warnings, if this ever happens again. I'm correct, right?
Generally, if we got another service request for the location, we'll go and inspect. And if we find a violation at this point, within the next 6 months or so, we'd probably go straight to citation based on this history. But if this happened again, maybe in 2 years from now, then we would probably restart the process.
Okay, and it's a citation that's based on the actual homeowner's address rather than the tenant or the account, correct? The Public Works account.
Generally, the idea is that the storage of the bins can be managed by the person who is invested in the garbage account, which is the person who pays the garbage bill.
Yeah.
Right. And but of course, the property owner plays a role in it, because the property owner, if they're renting the property, should be providing space that's reasonable for storage. And so we want to alert the property owner of issues around garbage bin storage, so that we can make sure that the lines of communication are open between people who reside there and the people who own the property. And it's also important for property owners to know if there's a citation associated with their property.
Okay, understand. Okay, so as far as this goes, so there's no warning as far as this one goes.
I want to just moving, for future reference, Nicholas, do you have sufficient storage space for the toters at this dwelling?
Well, I know, because there's 2 other tenants that live here, and we all work jobs, and I wasn't really aware that if he works on his car and there's not much storage, it's a small house. The reason why I'm really having this hearing is because I really don't want to pay this $250, regardless of even if my tenants don't want to pay, because it is under my account. I understand this responsibility, and I wasn't aware of this PO box being under the address of my account. So that's why I'm just appealing to you guys, because I would gladly not want to pay this $250, because it is a hefty fine under just me, So I know, knowing all this, I definitely will not be putting those cans outside. Once the trash gets picked up, I'm definitely putting those back in. I just wasn't aware that you guys were giving multiple warnings to this address that I wasn't receiving. So I'm sorry for the miscommunication and all that. And that's why I'm calling you guys, or set this up and talking to you guys today.
Just a few questions for me too. So if your outdated address, so it sounds like you're not getting email from that other address or mail from that address?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So, where do they send the bill then? How do you know?
So they send the bill via my email, and I call them and I pay it off.
Okay. So it's
and they
public
have
comment,
it on the
okay.
Recology. Is what happens is I get charged automatically 3 months, every 3 months for 3 months of the garbage service. So it automatically gets paid through my account that I have set up through there. So that's why I'm curious if you guys are, I don't know why that address would even be on there, because even setting that up, I set that up, roughly 3.5, 4 years ago, and that address is not, I wasn't at this address for 12 years. That's in San Diego. So that's why I was just concerned that, or just curious that, on my side, that there was no warnings, and this actual citation notice was sent to my landlord, and then my landlord notified me, asked me about this. So yeah.
Okay, I think there are other options, right? I've seen where people have constructed some kind of a covering. I guess this is like a question for Public Works. If there's limited space,
Right.
I don't know if that's something that.
Yeah,
Public
it
Works-
sounds
So that
like,
would be-
Nicholas, it sounds like from what you said, you mentioned that you'll definitely bring them back inside. It sounds like there's space in the garage, but for sure, it's not required to bring it into the garage. Like the hearing officer referenced, you can have a enclosure placed out, on your private property, not on the sidewalk, but in the driveway space in the front yard. The property here is set back. So of course you can get some sort of a shed or something like that could house the toters. That would be compliant as well.
Okay, so that was going to be a question that I had, because when I did call on the phone about this, I don't know if it was through you guys. I think it was through another third party, and he said that it was, anything that's on my driveway is technically considered a public space. So that's what I asked him, because I have neighbors that have the same thing, and I was curious because I asked him that, and he said that anything that's on that is considered an object, that I can't have that. So that was my concern, was because I have to smash my cans into my garage. It's not very comfortable by any means. So preferably, I would love to have that shed, but apparently the person that I had talked to set up even this meeting, I had questions for, and they said that is a no-go. If there's anything outside, and even in this citation notice, it even says that there is anything stored in view from the public right away within 24 hours, it's a no-go.
So
that
that's
was
so that's specific. So the bins themselves can't be in view, but you can construct either purchase a prefabricated shed or construct one using wood or lattice wood, bamboo, that sort of thing.
Right.
The location you currently kind of keep them off between, I guess, the garage and the stairway, that would be a completely acceptable place to have an enclosure. And as long as the enclosure blocks them from plain view, you'd be in compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So on those pictures that you have right now that you're looking at, so right on that side, that's technically considered my driveway, correct? Or is that considered a public space? If I were to put that little
I would
shed
have to
right
understand
there,
the advice you got does not track with my understanding of how we manage private property. Your driveway is not a public right of way. And so you do not need a permit to have a simple enclosure on your property in that way. If you're constructing something that's a little bit more permanent, that would be physically attached to the actual building itself, there might be some building inspection review of that. But generally, if it's like a freestanding enclosure, no permit needed.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're a little bit over time. I think I've heard what I need. I don't know, Nicholas, do you have any final statements?
No, I do not. I just want to say, as far as this goes, as questions, as far as this payment goes, I'm going to pay it. Do I pay it in full?
I'll make that determination, and you'll be send something in writing.
Okay. I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much. Yeah, as far as this goes, I have to, on my account, change that address. Yeah, yes.
Just one final thing. So the landlord provided the notice for you. They just kind of made you aware of it. That's how you got the notice?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and they never mentioned it to you about storing the toters inside or out of sight?
No. And I never got any warning about previous warnings that were given to the previous owner and or anything, because obviously in this address, it was the wrong mailing address. So it was either sent to that address and then sent to my landlord, and I wasn't aware of it.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. All
right.
Let's go on to the next one. Thank you so much, Nicholas.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, everyone. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay, the next one we have is 21460751 for 208 Fairmont Street. May I have Public Works?
Hello, my name is Benjamin Ibarra, and I'm the Public Information Officer for Public Works. Community engagement. On August 4th, 2021, responding to a service request to respond to a property not properly putting away their trash toters, I observed the toters from 208 Fairmont Street out on the sidewalk and visible on a non-trash day. Normal trash service for the 208 Fairmont Street is on Thursdays. These toters were out on Wednesday, August 4th at 12:52 p.m. as shown on the photographs that had been submitted with the citation. In response to this violation of PWC 178, I issued a citation in the amount of $250 to the property. Previously, the property at 208 Fairmont Street had previously been issued a citation in the amount of $100 in March of 2021. And to reiterate, garbage bins may only be visible when put outside for collection after 6 p.m. the evening before garbage service and must be brought back into storage space out of view from the public right of way within 24 hours of service. And this is also to previous outreach and notice of violation efforts had been made with this property to get them under compliance, and no change had been made.
Okay, thank you. Do we have the appellant?
Okay, if the appellant is available, if you could raise your hand. Is it we have a Gail that's in the attendees? Is that Gail? Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Niall.
Hey,
Gail,
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So a couple different things because
Okay,
it's really,
ma'am, Miss Sabin, is that how I say it?
yeah,
Okay.
David.
Before we get started, I wanted to swear you into this Public Works administrative citation hearing, and that the information you're giving us is the truth to the best of your ability.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Your 3 minutes has started.
Okay, so a couple different things happened. I didn't get $100 citation. I did get a notice. Maybe that was the one in March. And once that happened, what I did is, it's a little hard here because I had my son and his family from Kenya living with me. But what I ended up doing was we switched things around because I was using my garage as an office and my son and his wife from Kenya were using the other garage, but we switched things around. And in fact, once they left, I made it a playroom for my other grandchild. Once I got the notice, we stopped using that and I put the garbage cans in there, though it is a playroom for my grandchildren. So I do have to say that sometimes when they're playing, I only have one here now, and she probably comes once a week for an hour or so. I go there, I put them out while she's in the playroom with me, but we're right there. But after March, when I got there, like I said, now I put them in. I do believe the thing that might have happened in August is I was going away on like Wednesday on a flight, and I did want my garbage cans out. So I do believe on that day what happened was I put the garbage cans out before my flight, and then I got the 250 citation. So once I got just a letter, I don't remember if it was on my garbage cans or in the mail, we switch things up and I keep the garbage cans in the kids' playroom until Wednesday night, and usually don't bring them out till the evening, except again, I had a flight, so I put them out earlier that day. So that's what happened.
Okay, thank you. So regarding the March 2021 notice, so you did receive that?
Yes, I think if the March there, I got one notice. It didn't say I owed any money, but once I got that, because I do have to admit I was leaving them out because we were using it as an office for my kids who were here during COVID. But once we got that, we just said, and so we used that. My kids started just using the dining room table as their office upstairs, and they didn't get as much privacy, but that's what we did. But if there was another notice that asked for $100, that I did not get, but I got the one for $250. And as soon as I got that, I called up so I could explain the situation. Because once I got the other notice, we started just not using that garage for their office anymore.
Okay, regarding the $100 fee or notice, can, I guess, Benjamin, maybe you can confirm where that was mailed to, or?
Sure. Give me 1 second. It would more than likely have been mailed to the same location because we were using the same information, to the Fairmont Family Foundation at 208 Fairmont Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the
Was
notice
there-
that the
Oh, so
previous,
sorry.
oh no, the previous notice that you're speaking to was sent out mid to late February of
Okay.
2021, which was the notice of violation, which is
Right.
kind of a warning.
Right, that I got, and that honestly is when I started. In fact, I mean, they're in the garage as we speak. But yeah, once we got the thing in February, we stopped. Like I said, we moved them into the garage, and they don't go out until the evening.
Okay, when was the $100 fine? When was that sent? Just, I think I might have missed that.
That was sent March 24th. In March 24th, 2021 is when that inspection and citation was made.
Okay, so a warning was sent in February, late February 2021, and then the fine subsequently sent in March.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the more recent one was sent in August for $250.
That's correct.
So
That's
just,
the one I called on. I did get that, absolutely, and that's the one I called about. That's what I called in, and they had one, and then they just switched it from, I think, the 21st to today.
so what is the total, I guess now? Is it 100 plus 250, or is it 250?
Well, the initial citation would have been for $100, and then the subsequent one was an escalation to 250.
Okay, so the total is 250 now.
350.
350.
If we count them both.
Okay, I see. Okay. I guess for Gail then, so where do you currently store the bins today?
I now store them in the other garage, and for, well, two reasons. One, as soon as we got the warning, we started storing the bins in the garage. Though, like I said, I do know that there have been a time or two. It's pretty rare. I don't travel that much, but I do travel a little bit for work. And I do, absolutely, there could have been a time that in March, I put them out early because I probably had a early afternoon flight and I wanted the bins out, and because I wasn't going to be back till I was gone. Like, I'm usually just gone like overnight type of thing. So back and then put them back in the garage. But when I got, and again, I didn't get the $100 one, but as soon as we got the warning started, we just switched things up for the kids in their office. And like I said, they went back in July to Kenya.
Okay. I think I have all I need.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for hearing me. Can I just say one last thing? This is on a totally separate thing, but it is a public works thing. They redid our road. Not quite sure why, but I have had no stopping signs from Public Works that say no stopping 7:19 to 7:30 in front of my building and along my building for over 2 months now. And I had called 311 to have them picked up, but they're still here.
What's the date on those?
7/19/2021 through 7/30/2021. So they've been here for over 2 months.
And who is the agency listed on that notice again?
San Francisco Public Works.
Okay, you might need to follow up with 311 on that. I think
Okay,
that's the best way. Yeah, I don't think any of us.
Okay.
did. Yeah. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
okay. No, no. It just kind of made me laugh, like, I have my garbage can out 6 hours before and I'm going to talk to you guys. But again, they really are in the garage. They're always in the garage. I do have a question. Two last little questions.
So.
What if
sorry
I
to interrupt.
do? Sorry,
It's
if I
just
do.
that we have a schedule with other appellants, and if you would like to send a question to me directly as a clerk and for the director's office, you can send that to the email, and I can email that to you.
Well,
Or
I'm
you
just
can get it
asking,
from Niall.
can I just put the garbage, if I have a flight, would it be okay once in a blue? I mean, it's not very often. Or do I need to find another way if I have a flight on? I wouldn't put them out more than one, like early that day, but should I not even be able to do that? That's my question.
Mrs. Niall Simon, Public Works. You can leave your cans, your bins out after 6 p.m. prior to the night
Okay.
of collection.
Okay,
but
okay,
not
so I'll
before.
just get, I'll get somebody else to come to my house. I'll get my son to drive over or something like that. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next citation. So we have 21459325 for 2400 Irving Street. May I have Public Works?
Yes, Benjamin Ibarra for Public Works. On July 13th, 2021, as part of a reinspection at 2400 Irving Street, due to previous outreach efforts and a notice of violation for the property, the offenses cited are a sidewalk nuisance due to continued overgrowth of vegetation and accumulated litter at 2400 Irving Street. Having previously sent a notice of violation as a warning of possible future enforcement in May of 2021, the reinspection was a chance to see a change in the cleanliness and upkeep of the property. As shown in the photos, that upkeep had not taken place, so I issued a citation for PWC 174 in the amount of $100. In addition, I included another violation for the accumulation of litter on the sidewalk that the overgrown vegetation was holding, as shown in the photographs. As stated, this property had been sent an outreach notice in early May, then a notice of violation on May 26, 2021. The situation had not been remedied, so we went forward with the citation in July.
Okay, thank you. Do we have the appellant? Okay, I see someone raising their hands. Jack Panos.
1 second. So Jack, go ahead, Jack. Unmute your microphone.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, and
Great.
and Jack, Mr. Panos, do you swear the information you are about to present to this is true, is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, and your 3 minutes starts now.
Okay. So yes, I did receive the warning about the cleanup. First of all, I had leased that property to the San Francisco Police Credit Union. They are the people who put the fence around it. And we're having a problem with graffiti there. I did receive that, sent my gardener up. I contacted the Police Credit Union to let them know that there was a buildup. They weren't going to be there for a little bit. And I sent my guy up to clean it all up it was around the 1st of June. I forget the date, but he cleaned it all up. We have had homeless sleeping out there on those benches and around, and it used to be a goodwill, so people were dropping things off periodically. I did make them aware of that issue. They were aware of it. They told me they were in touch with Public Works, their management team. And then it was kind of unbeknownst to me. I got the citation. I contacted the credit union again. They said they were on it and had been taking care of it. But as far as this original problem, I had remedied it, and litter gathers there quite often. I don't know what I can do. There's homeless that sleep out inside. I've called the police, asked them to move them along. They've told me, the police department, they can't ask them to move along because we're a sanctuary city and they have every right to sit there if they want to. So there was nothing I can do about that. I do have a past record. I own a building on 5600 Geary Street that went dark. Someone moved out of it, had the same issue over there. I had a painter that would go there daily and check it just to take care of the tagging. I believe, I can't pronounce the name, but Zulima is a person on the graffiti task force. I believe I was constantly emailing with her and taking care of that. So I have a record of taking care of things. I really don't understand. I don't know what I can do about this. The credit union is about to open. They've remodeled the whole building and cleaned it up and painted it. They're about to move out of their old location and move into there, and hopefully that will remedy it. But as far as the only thing I could think to do is have a gardener go by there every day, and I don't know that that's possible. So it's yes. So
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Who is responsible for the vegetation and maintenance of the site? Is it you or the tenant?
The tenant.
So that would be the SF Credit Union currently?
Yes, San Francisco Police Credit Union.
Okay, and you mentioned that you've notified them of the need to clean up and maintain the vegetation?
Oh yeah, sure, certainly. I passed along the first notice that I got, and I went ahead and told them I'm going to take care of that one right away because I had a person in the area that could do it. And so we did that. And then I passed along the next one, the one I have a copy of here. And he told me it was taken care of. They were in contact with him. So yeah, I thought it was all being handled.
Okay. Do you have a contact person at the credit union you've been reaching out to, and what was their response?
Yes, I have a contact. Is your question, do I have a contact person, or what was their response?
Yes, both.
Both. Yes, I do have a contact person there, and he's their management team, and he told me it was all taken care of.
Okay.
And that is Brett Barron. Brett Barron is their agent.
Have you notified them of the fines?
Yes.
And
Yes.
And their response for that is, what's their response?
Their response was that everything had been taken care of, but I'm the one that it's my building. I own the building, and my name is on these fines. So
right, but have you sent them the fine? Have you notified them that you've been issued a fine?
yes, I have. Their posture is that it's the lease is 80 pages long, and their posture is that while they've been remodeling, that they have a homeless problem up there, and that I should be doing something about it. We're both kind of pointing fingers at one another. There's nothing in the lease that for a $200 fine, it's not really worth it for me to have my attorney read through the lease to find out who's responsible for the $200 fine. I guess, the reason that I wanted to schedule the thing was not so much, it is a $200 fine, but to show you that, I mean, if you looked into the other address, you'll see that I was very responsive whenever there was a problem. I did take care of this initial one. I went up there after it was done, looked at it, it was clean. And this picture was obviously after the June date. So it happened again, but the initial part of the citation was taken care of. No,
Right.
I did not. What I will tell you is I did not contact the graffiti unit as I did on Geary every time, because I had told the credit union and they said that they would notify them. So that
Right.
was my problem. I should have had them take a look at it.
Okay, I mean, do you have any issues with telling the tenants that they are responsible for this fine?
Do I have any issues with that? No, I don't. No, I don't have an issue with it. But I know what they're going to tell me, and then we're just going to have to fight over it through the lease, which costs many more hundreds of dollars to find out what the attorneys say about the lease.
Now, when they were remodeling it, this was when the notices were received. Is that correct? I just
Correct.
wanna know the
Yeah.
timing of this. So they had
Yes, as
people on
you-
site. Okay.
Yes, that's correct. And as you can see in the picture, they had a fence up. And quite frankly, one of the other issues is people are used to it being a goodwill, and they just stop by and throw the trash in the street. And there's a fence around it. Clearly the signs are off of the building. It's not a goodwill anymore. And San Francisco residents keep bringing stuff and just throwing it in the street, which I've notified the police department about that, but obviously there's not much they can do there. It's a
Mhm.
catch-22. It just goes on and on and on. People throw things in the street, the homeless come and look through it and see what they want. And it's a tough deal. Fortunately, I haven't been up there in a month or two, but they're about done with their remodel. And I think they're going to open this next month. So that should all be taken care of.
Okay, I mean, recently, have they taken care of the vegetation, the sidewalk vegetation, and any trash?
Yeah, I was up there about, well, let me see, this is almost September. It was middle of August, because I walked through the building, and yeah, the outside looked clean and tidy. And in fact, I had talked to their project manager, and the project manager was just saying, with all the work he's done, all he could lament to me about was how much they've spent just trying to keep it cleaned up and the paint off of the fence. And he said it's a total nightmare every time he comes to work there. But he had a guy that was assigned to keep the outside clean, and to my knowledge, it's been clean ever since. So
Okay.
I live on the peninsula, so it's hard for me to check it daily. I actually have a friend that lives right down the block, and I've asked him to call me if he saw anything that needed to be taken care of, and I haven't talked to him in a week or two. So, but he said it's been fine.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if you can have like you see, there's a project manager there. Maybe they can take some photos for you too, so that you are aware of the situation.
Right. Well, the project manager is going to be going away, I would think, very soon, because they're about to open the credit union, and as you may or may not know, but they are vacating their other space.
Mhm. And so I guess
on Irving.
for the future, is credit union going to be responsible for the sidewalk vegetation and maintenance of the site?
Yes. And by the way, is it Public Works that's responsible for the sidewalks?
For the
Yeah.
enforcement, but the upkeep of the vegetation on the ground floor is still the property owners.
Right. Well, I've called 311 several times because we have a couple of spots out there that need to be redone that are lifting up from some of the trees. That never seems to, I can't tell you how many times I've put claims in. But that's another subject.
Okay, I believe I have everything I need. Does anyone have any other additional final comments?
I don't.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the next one.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last citation we have is 2146-3038 for 1270 California Street. May I have Public Works?
Okay, is it Niall or is it Ian who's presenting?
If I is unavailable, I can present.
Okay, Ian just unmuted, or I thought he
Yeah,
unmuted.
I thought Nancy was going to join the call for this one.
Okay, let me.
I'm
let me
happy to
see.
present if she's not
Hold
available.
on
though.
1 second. Let me see if she's on. I have. I don't have her in the attendees unless she dialed in. Jennifer Tong has her hand up. Let me see if that's. Jennifer,
that's-
you have your hand up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you the appellant?
I am the person representing the person with the citation. And
Okay,
I'm-
just one moment. We're getting the person from the Bureau of Streets and Mapping to present the citation first, and then we'll have you present after.
I confirm Nancy's on a phone on this call, and
Oh, is Nancy the 415 number?
she probably
Okay, go ahead, Nancy. Nancy, go ahead. Nancy, go ahead.
Hi, Nancy from Public Works.
Okay, Nancy, go ahead. Can you go ahead and speak slow and speak up into the phone a little bit so we can hear you?
Okay. On Monday, September 13th.
Nancy, we're going to need you to speak up just a little bit more or into the phone.
Monday, September 13th, 2021 at 7:45 a.m. While responding to service request complaints in the area, I was driving on Leavenworth Street and discovered illegal dumping of cardboard boxes by the city can and in between MTA bus shelter. Upon further inspection, I found shipping labels on several of the cardboard boxes addressed to Dominique Ilantoni, 1270 California Street, Apartment 1, San Francisco, California, 94109, which is a multi-unit residential property located half a block away from the city can. I then confirm the property owner is Jennifer Tong and verify with Recology Refuse Collection Service is in the account holder Les Tong with a 196 trash bin, a 196 recycle bin, and 132 compost bin service on Mondays and Fridays. As the cardboard boxes were dumped on the public right-of-way a short distance from the residence on collection day, I issue a citation to the individual whose name was found on the cardboard boxes, Dominique Ilantoni, at 1270 California Street, Apartment 1, as well as the individual account holder, Les Tong, and property owner Jennifer Tong for violating MHC 280, MHC 283, and MPC 35A.
Okay, thank you. Do we have
You're
the
welcome.
appellant? Do we have the appellant? I believe she's on.
Yes, and thank you, Nancy. So Ms. Tong, before you'll have 3 minutes to present your side, and then do you promise the the statements you're about to make are truthful to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I spoke to Dominique regarding this, and she indicated that the reason why she didn't put the cardboard boxes in the recycling bin was that it was full. And so the day that she left in a hurry to go to work, she decided to put the boxes out on the street since she had seen other people do it. And she now knows that's incorrect, illegal, and wrong. And she had just moved here from New York 3 weeks ago, so she didn't know any better. Unfortunately, she didn't ask me whether or not she should do it. She just went ahead and did it. So I would like to find out if it's possible to waive the fine since she is new to the city. She did not know that this was illegal. She has seen other examples of this, which she incorrectly thought was correct. And she's incredibly sorry for doing this, and she's never going to do it again.
Okay, is she aware of, I guess, placement or correct placement of overfill materials such as cardboard? I believe Recology, if I understand correctly, and anyone from Public Works, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think you can just place it besides the blue bins, the recycle bins, and they'll pick it up. You don't have to bring it somewhere else.
Actually, from my experience, they don't take it.
Okay, I'm not sure if anyone from Public Works has any experience or knowledge of that.
They usually, because it's, yeah, go ahead, Ian.
I was gonna say, if cardboard is flattened, bundled together with string or twine in a shape that's roughly the size of 2 by 2 by 2, and you placed out with your blue bin on top of the blue bin, they should take it. It's possible that Recology would charge an extra set out fee. That's at the discretion of the driver. But that is a legal set out method, is bundling your cardboard, tying it together and placing it out on your collection day with your recycling bin.
In this case, that wasn't done. So again, she is incredibly sorry. She's new to the city. She didn't know any better, and she will never do it again from this
Okay.
point on.
Okay, I guess so. Has she been notified or discussed a proper placement? Maybe now that you have more information, will you be letting her know that the
Yes,
proper way?
yes, I have.
Okay, I do not have any further questions. Actually, one other thing I did notice, some of the photos they had, not just cardboard boxes, but other things like there was looked like a laundry basket or some other plastic type bins.
Yeah, her statement to me was she only brought out 2 boxes and the rest were not hers. So that's what she said. And I don't think she would be able to carry that if she was running to work. So I tend to believe her since she seems very young and unaware of what's happening.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's probably just, more educating people. Once people see things, like you say, your tenant might have seen someone else do it, but if it just continues, then, we're gonna just get trash constantly being placed. And I know it's your neighborhood or her neighborhood, and she may not want to do that.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice just to educate maybe all of your tenants that that's the case. Otherwise, you will constantly get trash placed at this garbage can here.
Yeah, and I live in the neighborhood, so I don't want to see that.
Right, okay. Okay, I don't have any further questions. Does anyone have any final statements?
This is Niall Simon, Public Works. Jennifer, if you would like, I can provide you a brochure or a pamphlet that will show the proper containerization steps. Maybe that'll be helpful for your tenant.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay, I'll email it to you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's close this item. Are there any other public comments on any of the items?
So
Go
one question, does she still need to pay the citation then?
I'll make a recommendation to the director, and then you'll be notified of the final result.
All right, thank you.
Okay. If there are no further public comments, then I am closing this hearing. Okay, thank you, everyone. This
No.
hearing is now closed.